Hello there, I'm Alisha Grogan. I am the author and creator of Your Kids Table, and I wanted to pop in here just as a special supplement to this post all on toddlers refusing to eat and talk to you for a second about foods for picky toddlers. Now, before I get to that, I really want to try to distinguish that I kind of think of toddlers as going into two different groups. If I hear the word picky toddler, I'm first out of the gate wondering, how old is that toddler? Because truly, people start to call toddlers anywhere from the time they turn 1 year old all the way up until maybe 3 or 4 years old. But the youngest of those toddlers, the 12 to 18 months, maybe a little bit beyond that are picky, are often really having a hard time getting onto table foods. They just never figured it out, and they're not really eating a lot of foods. Parents are often looking for that special food that they're just going to take and like. But often the problem more in lies that they just don't know how to chew, or that the textures of anything in their mouth is so completely overwhelming. If this is the camp that you fall into with your child, I really want you to focus on meltable, crunchy foods. So those are those first baby foods that you would be giving a 9 or a 10-month-old. Those are the foods that are like the baby puffs, or the buttery crackers like Townhouse crackers, graham crackers, or the myriad of products that are available all over the place in every grocery store from every baby food brand that are marked as those first table foods, like the baby mum rice husks as an example. Again, every brand has their own. Those are the foods that I want to focus on first for picky toddlers. Now, some toddlers that are picky fall into another camp. They may have done great with table foods and maybe 13 months old, or they could be 2.5 years old, and they just are picky. They like what they like and they don't want to eat anything else. A large portion of those toddlers really like crunchy foods. Not all, but a lot. And if you're finding yourself in this camp, I really want you to focus on foods that your child already likes, even if they only have 1 or 2 foods. What is it about those foods that they like? It's probably the texture, and you can focus then on other foods that have a similar texture. If your child only likes one kind of crackers, then you want to focus on just giving them other types of crackers to start. Any new food, if it's different in any way at all, if it's a different shape, a different color, a different brand, if your child is that picky, and it is more common than you think, getting them to accept anything at all that's different is a step in the right direction. So you will see that within this post, I have listed foods that toddlers tend to like. But know that I know that that doesn't mean that it's a one-size-fits-all. Your child is truly unique, and that is just a starting point for you. So some of those ideas are dino chicken nuggets. They're thin and they can be really crispy. Bacon is a chewy, crunchy protein that some toddlers will really take to, especially when you break it up into little pieces. Thin apple slices, all sorts of different kinds of crackers. I would try toasts. One of my personal favorites is a quesadilla with, starting off, if your child doesn't eat any cheese, just a tiny bit of cheese inside. Put that in a skillet and brown it on both sides. Let it cool a little bit, let it get crispy. I like to either cut that into thin triangle shapes or to cut that into tiny diced squares. And I would try serving that both ways. As your child begins to accept that and they have a protein, you can then add more cheese inside. You can then maybe add some tiny bits of shredded chicken or little tiny diced tomatoes or avocado. The point is to get started and then to slowly make changes to the foods that they're eating. And when in doubt, focus on crunchy, or if your child does happen to like those softer, squishier foods, focus on those and start to build from there. You can do this. There is a way out of the picky eating, and know that most toddlers are just in a normal picky eating phase that ends between 3 and 5 years old.